This committee will come to order. It's an honor to convene this first organizational meeting of the Committee on Foreign Affairs of the 113th Congress, and an honor to welcome all of our new members here with us. This committee has its origins in the Committee of Correspondence formed by the Continental Congress in 1775. It was established as a standing committee of the House of Representatives over 190 years ago. Our predecessors have grappled with questions of war and peace, freedom and tyranny, and diplomacy and development for nearly 2 centuries. I want to begin by congratulating my friend from New York, Mr. Engel, on his new position as ranking member, the latest chapter in his distinguished tenure here in the House of Representatives. We have known each other for many years, and I know that we share a basic commitment to promoting our national security and promoting our national interests and those fundamental rights and freedoms that we all cherish as Americans. We both intend to proceed with the bipartisan civility and respect that have historically characterized this committee. Our nation faces many grave challenges overseas. We will have differences over how to best address these challenges, but I will work as best I can to see that every committee member's views are fully respected in this institution. No one here has a monopoly on wisdom in this room, and I also want to express my gratitude to my predecessor, Eliana Ross-Leitonen, now our Chairman Emeritus for the committee. Before asking Ranking Member Engel for his comments and member introductions, I'd like to briefly recognize the Republican members of the Committee on Foreign Affairs. Congresswoman Eliana Ross-Leitonen of Florida, our Chairman Emeritus, who will chair the Subcommittee on the Middle East and North Africa. And I'm going to go down the list whether the members are present at the moment or not, so I can give you the subcommittee chairman. Chris Smith of New Jersey will chair the Subcommittee on Africa, Global Health, Global Human Rights, and International Organizations. Congressman Dana Rohrabacher of California will chair the Subcommittee on Europe, Eurasia, and Emerging Threats. Congressman Steve Chabot of Ohio will chair the Subcommittee on Asia and the Pacific. Then we have Congressman Joe Wilson of South Carolina, Congressman Michael McCall of Texas, Congressman Ted Poe of Texas, who will chair the Subcommittee on Terrorism, Nonproliferation, and Trade, Congressman Matt Salmon of Arizona, who will chair the Subcommittee on the Western Hemisphere, Congressman Tom Marino of Pennsylvania, Congressman Jeff Duncan of South Carolina, Congressman Adam Kinzinger of Illinois, Congressman Mo Brooks of Alabama, Congressman Tom Cotton of Arkansas, Congressman Paul Cook of California, Congressman George Holding of North Carolina, Congressman Randy Weber of Texas, Congressman Scott Perry of Pennsylvania, Congressman Steve Stockman of Texas, Congressman Ron DeSantis of Florida, Congressman Trey Radel of Florida, Congressman Doug Collins of Georgia, Congressman Mark Meadows of North Carolina, Congressman Ted Yoho of Florida, and Congressman Luke Messer of Indiana. I would now like to yield to the ranking member for his opening comments and for him to introduce his members.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. First of all, I'd like to congratulate you on becoming chairman, and I look forward to working with you in the coming Congress. We have always worked together, always gotten along, and I know that that will continue with our respective positions on this wonderful committee. I'm hopeful that we will continue the committee's longstanding tradition of bipartisan cooperation in promoting our national interests, which is particularly important in these challenging times. I'd like to take the opportunity to introduce the Democratic members of the committee. Starting with the returning members, we have Eni Faleoma-Vega from American Samoa, the ranking member on the Asia and Pacific Subcommittee. We have Brad Sherman from California, the ranking member on the Terrorism, Nonproliferation, and Trade Subcommittee. We have Greg Meeks of New York, my fellow New Yorker, who has worked so hard on this committee and has done such a fine, fine job as being one of the most important members on this committee. We have Albiel Cires from New Jersey, the newly ranking member on the Western Hemisphere Subcommittee, and as person who was on that committee and the first chair and then ranking member. It's a wonderful subcommittee. Jerry Connolly from Virginia, a very valuable member of our committee. Ted Deutsch, the ranking member on the Middle East and North Africa subcommittee. Congratulations to him. Brian Higgins, my fellow New Yorker from upstate New York, very valuable member of the committee. Karen Bass from California, the ranking member on the Africa, Global Health, Global Human Rights, and International Organizations subcommittee. She was the ranking member in the last Congress and is the ranking member again. Bill Keating from Massachusetts, the ranking member on the Europe, Eurasia, Emerging Threats Subcommittee. Congratulations to Bill. And David Cicilline from Rhode Island, a very, very valuable member of this committee, and I welcome his advice and counsel. I'd now like to introduce our large and distinguished group of newly elected members. First, we have Alan Grayson from Florida. This is his second stint in the House, having also served in the 111th Congress. We have Juan Vargas from California. Previously, he served in the California State Assembly and Senate. Brad Schneider from Illinois. Before coming to Congress, he worked as a business consultant and with a number of social justice organizations. Joseph Kennedy III from Massachusetts. Joe served as a Peace Corps volunteer in the Dominican Republic, started an after-school program for at-risk youth, and more recently served as an assistant district attorney. Ami Bera from California. He is a physician, worked in county government, and served as an associate dean at the University of California, Davis Medical School. Alan Lowenthal, also from California, although I learned he's originally from New York. Previously, he served in the California State Assembly and Senate. Grace Meng from New York, who won the seat held by our former colleague Gary Ackerman. Before coming to Congress, she served in the New York State Assembly, where I once proudly served. Lois Frankel from Florida. Previously, she served as minority leader in the Florida House and later as mayor of West Palm Beach. Tulsi Gabbard from Hawaii. Tulsi was the youngest woman ever elected to the Hawaii House of Representatives, has served in the Hawaii Army National Guard, and most recently served on the Honolulu City Council, and we're waiting for her to host us in Honolulu. And Joaquin Castro from Texas. Previously, he served in the Texas House of Representatives. So welcome to the committee, and to our returning members, welcome back. I'd like very briefly to introduce the Democratic Staff Director, Jason Steinbaum. Jason has worked for me for nearly 20 years, and he knows the issues inside out, and I just wanted the committee to get to know him as well. So, Mr. Chairman, I want to thank you. I look forward to a very productive Congress working with you, and I couldn't be happier that you're the chairman, except, of course, if I was the chairman. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Mr. Engel. Without objection, the oversight plan is considered as read and adopted. Hearing no objection. The next order of business is approving the list of committee professional staff for the 113th Congress as required by Clause 9 of House Rule 10. And I want to recognize the committee Chief of Staff, Amy Porter, if she'd step forward there. The Majority Staff Director, Tom Sheehy. And our new members will soon learn how fortunate we are to have a dedicated professional staff of such a high caliber. So without objection, the staff list that all the members have before them is approved. Hearing no objection. Finally, we will turn to the adoption of committee rules for the 113th Congress. The rules package was circulated to your office, I think, last week. These rules are primarily the same as those that governed committee operations during the last Congress. The minor changes represented a consensus agreement between the ranking member and myself. Other than the new subcommittee jurisdictions for the Congress, the most significant change in Committee Rule 6 just makes clear that the testimony that witnesses must provide 2 days before hearings should also include any audiovisual materials that a witness intends to present before the committee. Before entertaining a motion on the committee rules, I'm pleased to yield to the ranking member if you have any comments, Mr. Engel, on this.
Well, thank you very much. I have very brief comments. For yielding, I want to just tell you I appreciate the efforts to negotiate a bipartisan agreement on the rules, and I will certainly support adoption of the rules package, and I yield back.
I thank the ranking member. The chair now moves that the rules of the Committee on Foreign Affairs for the 113th Congress be adopted. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The rules are adopted, and without objection, staff are authorized to make technical and conforming changes to the committee rules and the oversight plan. This completes the organizational business required by the House rules, and I look forward to working with all of my colleagues on the weeks ahead as we work to shape our country's foreign policy. And I should add that our first hearing will take place next Wednesday with Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. And I want to thank all of the members for their cooperation here today.
Well, Mr. Chairman, if I might just add in closing, I'd like to once again say that all of us on the Democratic side look forward to working with you in a bipartisan manner. Obviously, we won't always agree on the issues, but we can agree to have a civil debate and treat each other with dignity and respect the way you and I have always acted towards each other. So I thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Engel. Thank you all. We stand adjourned. Beat the clock.